Hi Aquarius, thank you for joining me. This is a reading for mid-Cancer season. So the sun is in the 18th degree of Cancer right now. So maybe for another 2 weeks or so, I would say. I combine a traditional tarot interpretations with a more empirical approach to the decans, actually, because the decans are associated with the minor arcana cards. So the minor arcana cards are like the Two of Wands, Three of Wands, Four of Wands, and so on. And the decans are 10 degrees of each sign, and they correspond with each other. Um, and there's been research on like people and sometimes even events happening in the decans, and people having placements, like planetary placements in the decans, and looking like with a completely fresh mind about how, like, what is the common theme here with those people. And I combine these different approaches to get more, like, to combine intuition with reasoning, I would say. So Aquarius, what can we see for you for mid-Cancer? What can we see for you for mid-Cancer? On the floor. Eight of Pentacles, which is actually for me, it's a very Aquarian card, though it's traditionally associated with Virgo, but it is a card that kind of tells me to chisel away on one's own sculpture in a way, like one's own image, one's own understanding of self. Really, so it's not really like what you portray. But we have two cards, the Justice card with the Knight of Pentacles. Um, and it's kind of becoming more your authentic self, like more finding your true self, your true north node in a way, following your own compass. And it's a lot of work. It's like this person here on the card, like he's really working hard, chopping wood, carrying water, as one says. But there is some kind of mm, balance, some kind of change coming in because life is always changing, ever changing. Though it's slow. Like the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the deck, as people say, and it's very true. Because the physical realm is just the densest realm. Um, but there is change on the way, maybe in Libra season, because the Justice card is associated with Libra. And we have the last card on the floor again, of course. The Five of Pentacles, Five of Cups, excuse me. Which is not an easy card. I mean, this person is cloaked in black. He has three cups that he lost, or rather the contents spilled on the floor. And we do not know if he kicked it over himself or somebody came along, was not in the picture any longer. If that's true, probably for a very good reason, who kicked it over. Um, yeah, but it's also, it's like every hardship, every seemingly wrong turn that we took, if I don't really believe in blaming people or blaming oneself, at least not in the long run. So whether or not somebody else, like other than ourselves, is associated or has triggered these cups to be tipped over, regardless, we're still responsible for how we react to the situation. Like how emotionally stable are we within ourselves that it doesn't really, what's the word, fluster us. Like we don't really blow up, we don't start an argument, we don't, it doesn't ruffle our feathers in a way. And it's really like the overall theme here is the Page of Wands, and I want to see what's underneath. Queen of Wands, interesting. So the Page of Wands is the season that we're in right now, so Cancer, Leo, Virgo season. So summer, early fall. And the Queen of Wands is Aries energy. And we have, of course, very important astrological ingresses or and aspects that are happening in Aries right now, which is Neptune has entered Aries and Saturn being conjunct with Neptune right now, and Saturn and Neptune are in different decans right now, and I'm just looking up when they're going to be in the same decan again. Da, da, da. End of October 20. No, that's not true. When is it? No, it is true. 21st of October until the end of January. Saturn is gonna ingress into Aries 1 again. Um, so it's a good time to start things, to make changes, and the change for you is in your behavior. It is or gathering information about changing your behavior. Like maybe you have the inkling that something isn't quite right, but you don't know in which direction to go yet. So I pre-shuffled these cards. So I'm just gonna draw now clarifiers for this Eight of Pentacles we're gonna start with. So there we have the Lovers, a Gemini card, and Uranus is in Gemini right now. Which very much talks to changes in one's thinking, like everything that pertains to the mind, really. And Gemini is your fellow air sign, and so is Libra. So Libra here with the Justice card. So maybe since Uranus moved into Gemini, you have this feeling that something isn't quite right in, I don't know, how you conduct yourself, how could it show up? Something about yourself, like you became aware that there's something about your own development that is not quite right. That it's time to change. And we had the Page of Swords showing its face. Now it's the King of Swords. That's you, but it only flipped. It only flipped. That's not good enough. And then probably once the North Node is going to change into your sign, that's going to make a huge difference for you. So it feels a bit like preparatory. You're kind of like scanning the horizon, trying to figure out what it is that you need to change. This is literally the change card, like Aleister Crowley calls this change. And I like the Deacon symbols by Martin Goldsmith. And he describes it as a castle top, an isolated mountain peak surrounded by a great wall. The king oversees the rebuilding of the wall, while in the valley below the queen attends to the great mill, a dwarfish child playing by her side. So there's a lot in this picture. First of all, it's a Capricorn card. It's the first decan of Capricorn, and it's also after the Ace of Pentacles. It's the first Pentacle card. It's the first card where we do something in a way, where we take the first steps in the physical of changing a situation. And it's very Capricornian in the way that it talks about a castle on top of a mountain. I mean, Capricorn is the sea goat, so it likes to climb high up into the sky. There is also some Saturnian thing going on with the wall, but also rebuilding the wall. So there has been destruction in the past. Maybe that's like, I don't know what the change was in your life, but it felt like you lost, oh, what's the word? A chink in your crown, like a part of your crown, like your pride was kind of like injured isn't the right way, but was attacked either by others or by yourself, by a situation that you caused yourself. But it's not about blaming people, it's not about blaming yourself. That's just scapegoating. I think you're aware of that. Um, and then there's the Great Mill, which, like, the Queen is attending to the Great Mill, and we had the Queen of Wands here underneath the Page of Wands. The Aries card talking about the Saturn Neptune conjunction, kind of like grinding in the background, like this big grind. The big wheel turning, like two wheels turning against each other, really. Um, it's kind of like the universe is working on you very slowly in the background, almost maybe invisible to you. But the mill is milling away, so to speak, and it does produce friction. It does produce like flour or stone dust. I'm not sure. That's funny. Right now it feels more like stone dust. Like the mill is turning, it's the stones are turning, but there is no wheat. It's not been fed any seeds, any kernels. So maybe that's what is missing. Maybe ha, you've just been practicing. That's what it is. And the next step is putting it all together in all actuality, that you can go out there and do your work. Like, I'm not saying that you have not done your work so far. You have. You have attained the level of the Eight of Pentacles. That's eight pentacles that you've already covered. That's 80% done in a way. Also because this is the lowest suit. This is it's far into the cycle. If we see the suit starting with fire, the wands, then we go to the cups, to the swords, and then to the pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles only has the Nine of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles ahead of it, and then a whole cycle is complete. So I would say the shift that you're making is quite or you're about to make, is quite substantial. It's quite significant. And I think it'll be completed like the 9 and the 10 of Pentacles. You're gonna need to work on until you reach until the North Node is gonna shift over into your sign. That's what it feels like. But let's have a look at Justice card and the Knight of Pentacles here. Like which steps you need to take, like what gets you out of practice mode into real world mode, or I don't know what to call it. Let's see. Do we need justice? Do we need balance? Do we need verbal fervor? I don't know. Probably something slow acting with that knight here. Yes. The Devil, Capricorn. Just success. We just need success. We just need things working out, but things are moving slowly. With the Knight of Pentacles, you just can't, there are things that you can't speed up. But justice is coming in. This is the Wheel of Fortune, but it's marked with like these 2 dots at the bottom and at the top. Because this deck has not 78 cards, it has 80. Because I put in 2 additional cards for Aries and Sedna, because Aries I think is the higher it is the higher octave of Jupiter. That's why I chose the Wheel of Fortune as a representative for Aries, but it is the modern ruler of Libra. That's what I meant to say. And then Sedna is the modern ruler of Virgo and the higher octave of Saturn, as much as Mars is Pluto is the higher octave of Mars, Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, and Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. So it looks very slow. It looks probably arduous. Like I've been grinding away for ages, but it's not moving. But I can tell you, justice is gonna swoop in. It's like many times we want justice and we're not getting it, and there's a good reason for it, because we need to learn the lesson. We need to stay in the suck, embracing the difficulty and all that jazz. But I think you have endured enough of this kind of suckiness. You can't escape the suckiness, the difficulty in general. I don't really believe in the happily ever after. There's always going to be difficulty, otherwise it wouldn't be life. It would just be an illusion. But I think for you, this particular difficulty, this particular suckiness is gonna end. Because justice is gonna swoop in and be the hero of the day, whatever. Something is gonna right a wrong. Maybe it's gonna even really look like that, righting a wrong. Because, yeah. Let me get one more card here if I'm on the right track here. Can we get one more card here for the Devil? The Chariot showing itself. That's a very successful card. The World showing itself. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. Taurus. Very slow moving as well. With the Chariot showing itself, with the World showing itself, I would say, and now Judgment. You will flip this around, or this rather will be flipped around for you, but based on all the work that you've done in the past. It's not like it's gonna fall into your lap and it's like, ooh, I don't know where that came from. No, it's gonna be justified. It's gonna be justified because you worked for it. You worked your butt off, I would say. Okay. What can we see then about the Five of Cups then? What is this tricky situation about? We have the King of Pentacles. There's something else about a legal, is it a legal situation? Is it just higher forces working at you? Because Martin Goldsmith describes with the deacon symbol that he has for the Five of Cups an actual legal situation, which is quite striking because the Five of Cups is associated with the first deacon of Scorpio. So nothing really about judges or courts or any legal stuff, but he describes it as, and I'm quoting here, a stern, bearded judge presides over a tribunal. The prosecuting attorney finishes his argument, then picks up a religious statue and smashes it, extracting from its shards a small document which exposes the plotting of the priests. So instead of having cups being tipped over, Martin Goldsmith symbol talks about a religious statue being smashed, and instead of liquid being spilled, comes forth a document, or a small like piece of paper. And it's all about exposing some priests, which is not explained. Obviously because it's just a symbol and you're just supposed to interpret it, so it's very abstract and general, and you know. So it kind of talks about a tradition being challenged, I would say. So I don't really feel it's about courts, though we do have a lot of court stuff here with Libra, like literally, and the Wheel of Fortune, Eris. I mean, this is all law stuff. Could be like for one or two of you, this could be the case. But I think generally it is about challenging a traditional view. Like you're going from the Eight of Pentacles, going further to the Nine and the Ten of Pentacles, like closing this Virgoan striving for, I don't want to say perfection because I don't really believe in perfection, but just bringing something to the close, and just establishing a new standard. Like this is my new standard. This is what I want to strive for as the new normal in the future, so to speak. I think that's what Virgo really is doing in that part of the cycle. And we have the Capricorn card here again, or at all, but we had the Devil here, which also talks, like, is also associated with Capricorn. So I'm not sure how to take it yet. Like, are we just okay? We have card on the floor. Ace of Cups. That's a completely new energy. That's like a new way of feeling about something. Maybe a new way how you feel about yourself, how you meet yourself within yourself. Eight of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. Like this time it's really the Wheel of Fortune associated with Jupiter. So we have this search for the Ninth Cup with the Eight of Cups. You need to leave. You need to leave an emotional situation, which is never easy to do. So it feels very much like you're leaving yourself out in the cold. And I want to say it's not actually about so much about like where to turn to, because I talked about you scanning the horizon and you're trying to figure out where to turn and where are my pieces of information. And I think the answer to that is It doesn't really matter. You just need to step out of the situation that you're in. And it is an internal um, change. So um, you need to change your own emotional approach to a situation, and that will make you kind of step out of the situation, like in the external, that you need to do in order to grow from the Eight of Pentacles to the Nine, and then subsequently to into the Ten of Pentacles, I would say. And it's really, it won't be a small task with Jupiter here. It won't be a small task, because it'll act, like I said before, like the new normal. Like this is it, reiterating what I said before. It'll act like a save point in a video game, so to speak, like where you can save at any point that you'd like. You're running out of time, you want to shut down the console, but you can't because you can't save. No, you have to keep on playing until you master something, and then you're allowed to save. This is the kind of situation, and this will come up if you are able to change your emotional approach to a situation. It'll it'll make the leap. You will make the leap, or it'll make the leap. The outside situation will, like justice swooping in, will correct righting that wrong for you. But then again, it's like inside outside. Like who really caused the situation here? Was it you? Was it then like the outside? It's like it gets really tricky once you've done like enough shadow work to really figure out, did I cause this, or is my behavior a reaction or a consequence really of outside forces? Like it gets really hard to distinguish. And the point is probably that you can't really distinguish any longer between the two, which is then like I want to say like a point of origin for work on ambiguity, which is very important. But I think that's another chapter that might be around after this has been accomplished. So congratulations on this. You're just a few steps away from achieving something major, I would say. You just need to make that emotional shift, and I would very much appreciate it if you would leave me a comment about your situation and how that is working out in your life. I'm always curious about what my listeners are going through, what I'm really describing here in my abstract kind of way. And give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, if that's your thought of sort of thing. And subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of these videos. I really appreciate any and all kinds of support. So this is where I'm gonna leave you. And I wish you have a pleasant day. Bye bye.